Hey, what's up, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. Today, we are getting to another one of your sponsored requests. This one comes to us from our friend Seriously What 9961. Thank you so much. This is I'll Never Love Again from Woodz. Now, I reacted to this on the main channel, but over there, I reacted to the live clip. Here, we're going to actually break down the music video. So, this will be the standard format here on the channel where I interpret the lyrics and the message, but I also take a look at the video and see what kind of symbolism or imagery that I want to talk about. Thank you again for the request, and let's get started. All right, we got ooh, nice, really cool imagery there in the flames. You got the soft organ playing. It's like we're going to the church. Aww. Aww. Okay, real quick, already, what the live clip did, when we had like the heavy strumming of the guitar, we had like a strobe light effect. What we've done here in the music video is flash to, like interject scenes of him in the flames, which flames can either be pain or passion, maybe both. We'll see how it plays out. But the imagery here that we're getting, let's see, we're at 57 seconds just so I can remember where to come back to. But we see a happy couple here, elderly couple, and he's got post-it notes on him. There's nothing written there, but it's almost, especially because in this, as we scroll over, he's alone right here, but in the next shot as we pan over, it's going to show her like trying to like maybe do like write characters on his hand so that he'll recognize it, and he doesn't seem to be recognizing maybe who she is. Maybe he has Alzheimer's or something. So maybe these post-it notes are like notes for him to remember who he is or who is around him, what's going on. I don't know. uh then we get this shot, which must have been them when they were like young and in love, and or young and still obviously more in the beginning of their love. They just got married, and here, she's leading him. Here she's trying to get him to recognize something. uh and then we move on from that couple to this one, and all right, we've got a fight where she walks out. We've got over here where she's kind of exasperated, but then, it pans over here when presumably an earlier time in their relationship when things were happy. So we're seeing almost like the full course of a relationship in different characters here. And we're also kind of, how do I want to phrase this? It's like if he's saying I'll never love again, and we're seeing like the full life cycle. And also, that goes back, I didn't mention it, but there was something being said at the very beginning on the screen. Life is like a circle, keeps repeating itself. So it's almost like he's showing how love is going to be, the same. Like, there's going to be joy, and then there's going to end in heartbreak. And we've got different types of heartbreak, right? We had the one where maybe the husband doesn't even recognize her anymore. Now we've got this one where like the couple is just fighting and breaking up. So we've got different stuff like that going on. And we'll get to the lyrics, but even before we get to the lyrics, it's already kind of saying like maybe I don't want to do that anymore. Like, if I know how it's going to end, why do I want to do it? So let's see if that's where we go. Now, remember, I have reacted to the song itself already, so I know some of the lyrics, but I didn't pay that much attention to them because I saved that kind of attention for the breakdowns. So I'm still really kind of getting into the message with you guys here. See, we're getting all these different couples who go through like the different stages. Okay, that's really cool. So not only does he sing the line "It burns me down" as the flames are burning the "I'll never love again," but the flames like ignite when he gives the powerful chorus, which very cool timing, very nice production value. But with this burning down, you could almost take that as like, I will love again because it's burning that message away. Like, I I said I'll never love again, and then the flames eat that away, and it's like I am gonna love again. But let's talk about or wait. Okay, we'll finish the chorus, then we'll talk about lyrics. Those vocals, man. This guy is insane. His dynamic range, I mentioned it in a couple of songs now. The way he can go from so soft and vulnerable and, just like almost like a whisper. Almost comparatively, like if you were to, take what he's doing vocally and move it to regular conversational speech, it would almost be like he's doing ASMR. And then he explodes into like, full on, full body energy kind of stuff. It's really honestly impressive how he can have that kind of control and how he's got that much range. But lyrically, we have "Your traces soaked into my skin. I try to scrape them off, but the quiet memories come rushing back and take the air from my lungs." So, yeah, this is presumably the aftermath of a breakup. Like you said, your traces, like the memories of you, I can't get rid of them. Those quiet memories come rushing back, and then when it takes the air from his lungs, it's like it's so painful. He can't even breathe. Verse 1, "I felt I was dying," which, kind of goes back to the taking the air from my lungs. "My world collapsed again." The word "again" implies that he's gone through this before. And we did see again that that opening message said, like, life is a cycle, it repeats, or however it was phrased, but that was the gist. So, and everything scatters away. All those painful words you said fade like they were never real. So, if the painful words fade like they were never real, it must mean that, like, they were fun, not fun, but like meaningful, pleasant words, like "I love you" and stuff like that, because otherwise he wouldn't describe them as fading like they were never real, because it would be fine. Like, they would he would want, like, if someone said "I hate you," you're a terrible person, you're a piece of crap, whatever, like if something hurts your feelings, you're not going to look back on that typically. And as you forget, then you're not going to really say they faded as if it wasn't real, because you're gonna kind of always hold on to that a little bit until you completely let it go. But this, when he says all those painful words, I have to feel like he's talking about the fact that he thought it was love. He thought the love was genuine. They meant what they said, and so it hurts to hear them now that it's not there. That the relationship, that the love isn't real. Um. So, excuse me. After fade like they were never real, it's and just like that, you so easily run away. Yeah, if there's lots of reasons why relationships end, and you know, sometimes it's mutual, but a lot of times it's not. And someone grows apart, maybe someone cheats. This I don't think was about cheating, but that can be one reason. But there's reasons why, and then it's usually easier for one party than the other, and the person who is left, in the wreckage, in this case it's him, always probably thinks it's easier for the other person to have left. I know I think, like, when my ex-wife left like 12 years ago or however long it was, like, I thought, like, yeah, it must have been so easy for you. Like, she moved on quickly. She was the one that left in the middle of the night. Like, I certainly didn't leave. So I described that as her so easily running away. So I feel his storytelling and his pain here. Uh Pre-chorus, you were my only forever. So it's like she was a soulmate. But you disappeared without a trace, and I'm crumbling in your silence. Man, that's relatable. Like I said, for me, like I just told you my story. Um, wow. Okay. The chorus, I'll never love. It burns me down. The love that touched my cold heart has swallowed me whole again. So you could take, in this case, I'm pretty sure it's being used negatively. The love that he finally let in, that warmed his heart, now like burned it to ash. But you could make the argument that that's talking about, like, he let love in and now he was consumed with love. Like the Grinch, his heart grew 3 sizes that day, like whatever. um Again, I think it's more like the burned him to ash. Fire can be, life saving. It can give warmth and light, and it can help you cook food, but it can also burn you and kill you. So there are levels to this. um Thought we were truly connected, but it was nothing more than a crash. um the way I envision that in my head is, if you think about a car crash and how it's like mangled steel if it's a hard enough crash, and so it might look like the two cars are joined, but it's only because the fragments of the car, or the shards of them, are like locked together from the wreckage. It's not an actual coupling of the vehicles. That's how I envision this description here. I knew all along my heart would break again, so I locked it away, never love. So he already knows the ending of how this is going to go, because it's a cycle. He's been hurt before, and he knows he's going to be hurt again, or at least he thinks he knows he's going to be hurt again. So he doesn't want to love again. All right. Again, relatable feeling. It's the crazy thing about that feeling, though. If you've never had it, you don't know. But the generally, sorry, I got caught between genuinely and generally. Generally speaking, as time goes on, like when a breakup is fresh, especially if you were deeply in love with someone, this is how you'll feel, or how you could likely feel. And it might persist for a while, but as time goes on, you you sort of forget the pain. Maybe not forget, but the pain becomes duller. And as the pain's sharpness wears off, you start to have this nostalgic feeling of what love felt like. And then when you do meet someone that you have a spark with, you're somehow ready to take that on again. And that's why this repeats itself over and over again, because unless it works out, unless you find the one that works, they're all the other ones are going to end. And so, like, why do you want to keep going through that? But the answer is because you're hoping to find the one that does last. Okay. Yeah, see, this right here, I personally don't know a couple like this, but as a nurse, I've worked with couples like this. You can tell, like, I think he has Alzheimer's because she's dutifully, trying to stay with him, trying to help him, trying to guide him, but he's either not recognizing her or not recognizing where he is. He's thinking he's somewhere else, whatever the case might be. And she's trying to, like, again, lovingly bring him back to her, and he's just not having it. Aww, puppers. So we're just getting these stories over and over again. Aww. I just realized what that one with the dog is about, because pets die in the end. So we're not even talking all the time about romantic love. Like, love in general, your love for your family, your love for your pets, your love for your significant other. Like, in the end, they all leave you at some point, or you leave them. Except, like I said, in the case of a romantic love, where you find the one that lasts. But even then, at the end of that, like this elderly couple, one of them is gonna die first, obviously. Well, technically, I guess they could go at the same time, but generally speaking, one of them's gonna go first. And so, yeah, it just clicked what the little girl with the dog meant, because I was like, I'm not really putting that together in the context of these relationships. Also, the words that were flashing across the screen really quick as they were hugging said, what would you do if you lose your love? Are you never going to love again? And by now, if you clicked on this video, you saw that screen, that are you never going to love again? That's the thumbnail. Because that's really, I think that's the crux of what we're getting at here in this video, is like all this bad stuff that is going to repeat over and over again. And he says, never going to love again. But then it's like, are you sure? Because eventually, I think you're probably going to love again. Especially because at the beginning of the video, like you said, life is a circle. It repeats. I don't remember if those were the exact words, but that was basically what it got at. Okay, before we get to the bridge, let's read verse 2. Fleeting emotions past, only regret remains, memories shed like old skin. So this is getting to that feeling that I was telling about, where as time goes on, the pain starts to dull, and like he said, the memories, or in this case, your remembrance of that pain, it starts to shed. And once that layer of hurt falls away, you find yourself open to the joys that you had again, even if there is that pain that's inevitable. The wind kept cutting through me, but I walked through the deep night and opened my eyes. I think this is a poetic way of basically saying, I gave love another chance. I could be wrong, but that's how I'm taking that. Pre-chorus, faintly blooming, you had turned into a distant longing, now I'll let you go. So, yeah, like I'm starting to move on. And then that part about the turn into a distant longing, like I wanted you back, even if maybe it wasn't good for us. But now I'm fully letting you go, because if I don't let you go, I can't heal and I can't move on. And then we get the chorus again. So let's hear the bridge. Okay. He has a habit of doing this in some of these videos where he'll flash some words on the screen, and if you're not really paying attention, you'll have no idea what the hell just happened. And I saw something. See, it was right there. What? Ah, see? That's important. But he like glosses over it by moving so fast. So, I'll just read the whole bridge since we're on this frame and I'm not going to pause it again. But if this is how love always ends, I'll never love again. So we know, if I know the ending of the story, I know the pain that's coming, I'm never going to go through this again. And then, you sure about that? It's more of a question, not a statement or a promise that I'm never going to do it again. It's more like a, will I ever do it again? Why would I ever do it again? I'm probably going to do it again. But the bridge repeats, if this is how love always ends, I'll never love again. And then the chorus, the final chorus is actually different, so I'll read that one once it's over. On the wings of angels, baby. Voice is incredible. See, now they're all like finding love again. It's like they're running towards that love. Hey, our guy with the canes breaking character back there. Hold up. He did it again. Yep, okay. I thought that's what it said this time. So the closing little marks down there, or phrase, is life is like a circle, keeps repeating itself. It's the same thing we had at the beginning, which is obviously appropriate because we've come full circle now. But that final chorus, it's fading away. Even the smallest feelings I had, I'll never love, I'll never love. It's fading away. Even the smallest feelings I had, I'll never love, I'll never love. So, if that chorus had been at the beginning, you would take that as even the smallest little bit of hurt that I felt, because of that, I'm never going to love again. But because it's at the end after we've moved on or let the person go, it's more like the pain is fading away. And even like the smallest bits of hurt are still fading away. And even though he's saying, I'll never love, you see them running almost with hope towards what is presumably love again, just to repeat the cycle. All right, my friends, so that was the music video version of I'll Never Love Again, and vocally, I remain amazed by Woodz. Artistically, I remain amazed by Woodz. This man's talent is undeniable. I hope you enjoyed as much as I did. Shout out once again to Seriously What for the request. Thank you so much. If you want to get a request done like Seriously did, there are two ways to do that. You can become a Patreon subscriber at the gray tier or higher, and shout out to all those who have done that already. Thank you for all of your support. Gray tier and higher get access to all the content that's over there, and they get the guaranteed monthly requests. If you're not feeling Patreon benefits, though, there is a PayPal link in the description below, and instructions on how to use it, so feel free to take a look at that. And also, if you enjoyed this video, please subscribe to Woodz' channel. This video I found on the 1K. I couldn't find it on his actual channel, but if it's there, watch it there instead. And also check out his new album that just dropped a day or two ago, Archive 1. And if you enjoyed this video specifically, please like, share, subscribe, hit the bell to enable your notifications. And yeah, thanks for being here. I'll catch you for the next one. Take care, everybody.